we want to be sure that Yule and May had a marriage under the Act, clearly. If that is confirmed.
May, and I think she said their marriage was under the Act.
Okay. And
let's assume that I heard right.
Mentioned clearly that the bride price she has refused to return the bride price. That means it's what we call a double-decker marriage, meaning
a double-decker marriage.
Yes, that means it was contracted under the Act and under customary law as well. So he has a double-decker marriage. Now, coming to that, if we want to face marriage under the Act, the issue of adultery, I think I need to clear this more because I was just stating things in summary yesterday. What is the implication of committing adultery? We have the Southern laws, the Western, the laws that regulate the Southern states, and that for the North. So in the Northern part, if you commit adultery, it is a criminal offense. In the Southern part, if you commit adultery, it is not a criminal offense.
Because there's no punishment for it. The only punishment for adultery is the dissolution of the marriage.
It is a ground for dissolution of the marriage. Exactly. It's a ground for dissolution. So it is not, I want to clarify the implications of Yule's action currently. So it doesn't amount to, it's only a basis for the dissolution, but he cannot be punished for it. So therefore, it is just a moral wrong. Most people don't want to be found committing moral wrongs or immorality or whatever it may be. So it's not a punishment. That's why, that might be probably why he can confidently go ahead with such. Now, the other issue we are talking about is refund of the bride price. Since he said he has requested for it, and if it is true, assuming it is true he requested for it, for whatever reason which we might not know, it has not been refunded, he can, if he really wants to dissolve the marriage, he can go to the customary court of the native land. That is another alternative.
What if he doesn't want to dissolve the marriage? What if he's also holding on to the marriage and she's also, so they are legal. But as of today, if no dowry has been refunded and
the court has not made a pronouncement
and there's not been any annulment, they are legally married as of today.
They are legally married as of today. And that's why the issue of the name should not be something we should be debating about. Why she's still bearing his name, because they are still legally married. So I don't think it's something we should debate about. And of course, it takes a long process. So she needs to see to the end of the dissolution of the marriage, probably, before she starts changing her name, her documents, and all
she can't even change her name because legally she will need to change her name on her passport.
And she would need to show proof for that change of name.
But why? Let me ask you that question. Why do you need, what if tomorrow I want to wake up and answer Daddy Freeze? My name is Daddy and my son name is Freeze. Why do I need, and I'm an adult, I'm 47 years old. Why do I need proof to show me? What proof do I need to show? That my father
why you really in a way would want to do that is because people commit crime and they change their name and they change their image, they change their personality. So it's like a check for us to, it's like a check on the system for people to, for there to be a tangible reason or justifiable reason why you want to change, especially when you are changing your name in totality to a new name. You might have just committed a crime and you're trying to change your image or your personality as a whole.
Somebody said deed poll. What exactly is a deed poll?
Deed poll. In what sense?
I think that's American. That's American.
Okay.
That's American.
We are facing Nigeria now. So still on the matter.
Nigeria.
Still on the matter.
Okay, go ahead.
So he can go to the customary, okay, I've answered that one. He can go to the customary native court. And with respect to returning the bride price, let's establish this again, that When it comes to customary marriage, we don't have a uniform procedure because it's based on each tradition and each society or community. So we cannot strictly speaking say, this is how it should be done. This is how marriage is dissolved. The way marriage is dissolved in Edo State might not be the same way it will be dissolved in Kogi State or in another community. So it's diverse. However diverse it is based on your region, there's always a customary court there that can assist. So maybe the procedure for May, they are still probably in the process. I don't know, but I know families would have to meet, generally speaking. Whatever thing that would need to be done and the implications of that is for the experts in that tradition.
Now, somebody is asking a lot of, I'm going to say you're ignorant. It's not an insult this time, but it's the truth. A lot of people are asking, how much is this bride price set? Is it not 500 naira? Let me tell you something. They will sell a whole Yahoo for $1. $1 is the legal exchange that I'm buying it. Because imagine I'm buying a Yahoo with base of $400 million. So when I pay $1 to buy it, the $1 just signifies that the transfer of assets from A to B has occurred.
Exactly.
So you cannot say because they bought Yahoo for $1 or because they bought one company for $1, the company is actually worth $1. No. So no matter the price of the bride price, even if the bride price is $1, it is a transaction. Something was exchanged for that $1. So don't be ignorant and say, is it not 500 naira? How much is the bride price?
Yeah, no. It's the significance attached to it that makes it relevant.
Now, I want to talk to you, my darling sister. Sorry, I'm rushing you through because there's so many questions.
Yeah, sure.
Let us talk about bigamy, Sarah.
Okay.
Let's talk about bigamy.
Yeah.
Can May sue you for bigamy?
Interesting question. Now, because of the nature of the law, ordinarily speaking, if you and May, they are married in accordance with the acts, that's court wedding, any marriage he conducted afterwards is void. Is seen as void. So whatever he has with Judy, in the eyes of the law, is seen as void, like it does not exist. So of course, she can sue him she can instigate the action towards suing him because she's not the one that will sue him. It's a criminal act, which she would write a petition to those that are empowered to commence the trial, which is the police,
public prosecutor.
Exactly. So she could commence the action by petitioning him and attaching reasons why they should prosecute him for bigamy. So they would then look through the evidence she has presented and then decide, okay, there's sufficient reason for us to charge him for this offense.
So if you and I were married and I went on to marry Ada Blessing, for instance, you cannot sue me for bigamy. You can only petition.
I can only petition, and I will be the principal witness. I can only petition. I can only instigate the action.
People are learning,
So an individual cannot prosecute. It's only the authorities, that is the police or whoever, maybe the Attorney General of the Federation or the states. So you can petition to the Ministry of Justice or to the police with your evidence for bigamy. So you find out that most people are not, and you have to be an evidence. You have to be a witness. So the sentiment attached to it is when you instigate an action for bigamy, why most people, you hardly find such cases. Why most people don't do it is because you are now going to be the witness the prime weakness in a matter that would send maybe the father of your children or your husband to jail.
My ex no mind do that kind of thing. No. She already go. Now God no give her and do.
But if we look at it, if I want to stretch it, can I stretch it?
Many of our judges are either wives in a polygamous marriage or husbands of polygamous women.
If I want to stretch
how are they going to judge it?
If he's sent to jail, for example, if I institute an action against him, I'm no longer married to him, I don't care, and I instigate criminal prosecution against my husband for bigamy. And take note, there is a divorce proceeding. Of course, he would have to be sending money to take care of the children. He has to pay for childcare, and he's sentenced to jail for 2 years. How will I be getting the funds to take care of my children? That's why I say if I want to stretch it further. So it's a
lot. I totally understand. I totally understand what you're saying, and you're making a whole lot of sense. Now, I want to raise something else with regards to the bigamy charge. In the history of Nigeria, I think only one person has been jailed for bigamy. I stand corrected. I have lawyers here. In the history of the Nigerian legal, I think only one person. Right?
They are rare. I don't know of much.
Well, I don't know what
it's just one or two I've known of.
All right. Yeah. We also have Ife here. Ife is a lawyer in Canada, also called to the bar in Nigeria. So this is a legal conversation, and I have Ife here. Ife was the lady who took part, or who took part, I beg your pardon, in a conversation with a lady who was mentioning Duru versus Duru. So sometimes they call her Ife Duru versus Duru. All right, Ife, go ahead. What is your take on this matter?
Yeah, Dad, if you just give me a moment, I just want to give a client a document. And like he's in front of the door. So just
Let
me unmute myself.
Mute.
Yeah.
Mute, Ife. Now this got even more interesting. Wisdom Nwedene says anyone close to you should tell him that in Ebonyi State, once family members return bride price, the child is no longer his own. And any man that comes to marry May will automatically own his children. That is the tradition in Ebonyi State. And he should tread with caution, except he doesn't want the children he had with May. All right, the matter has taken a turn. In fact, the matter has crossed the railway and it is heading for a bridge. Ife, how are you? Over to you. What is your advice?
Happy New Year. So, regarding you saying that why is his wife not changing his name? First of all, I'm not taking sides in this matter because I feel like there's more to it than we know, right? May is maintaining her silence. Hugh is deciding what to say. I feel like there's still more. Like when husband and wife are having a problem, there's more to it than, outsiders will always know. So I'm not supporting anybody. But regarding May not changing her maiden name, I hope you realizes that she can decide to retain her marital name even after the divorce. It's not mandatory to change. Yeah, it's not mandatory to change your maiden name after divorce. So she's at liberty to keep it or to change it. And if she decides to change it, she can actually change it right now. Because when you file for divorce, one of the prayers you're asking the court for, one of the reliefs you'll be asking the court for is to grant an order for you to change your name. So you can also go to the High Court, in Nigeria. I stand to be corrected, though it's been a long time I practiced law in Nigeria, and you know, swear or deposit on affidavit to that fact that you want to change your name, and then do the newspaper notice. I think that's the requirement for the change of name in Nigeria. In Manitoba, Canada, where I currently practice, it's a whole different process to that. So that's one. And there was something else my learned friend was talking about. Did you say that in the South that it's not a crime to marry a second wife?
No, what I said is not a crime, it's adultery.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Adultery is not a crime.
Clarify.
It's in the northern part that adultery is a crime.
Yeah. Okay, that's right, actually. So yeah,
we both agreed on that, if you remember.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's not seen as a crime is because it has no punishment.
Exactly.
So
under the
okay, how do you punish it? So it is seen more as
a moral wrong.
A moral, yes.
It has to be codified for it to be a crime.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let us talk about bigamy. What is your take on the bigamy issue? And men, I want to bring in a man lawyer too. Everybody's saying that if you like women too much. Women are available and they are intelligent. How many men go school? Go school. They do Yahoo. You now want make I bring you come inside learned matter. Wait till one can talk there. How Maga go pay? You two try now read book. How many men here are lawyers? Read book. You say who school help? School is a scam. Please, my darling sister, please, men lawyers, send me request if you want to come.
Okay, that is free. So, bigamy is a serious offense under the Nigerian law, and in the South, under the criminal code, because in Nigeria there are two regimes of criminal law. So in the South, it's the criminal law. In the South, is the criminal code. In the North, is the penal code. So under the criminal code, which applies to you, right? The code defines it as being married to someone and that person is still alive, and then you go ahead to contract another marriage. So it means you're guilty, and it's a felony, and you're liable to imprisonment for 5 years actually. In in the south of Nigeria. Yes. So I would say that use marriage to Judy, second wife, falls into this category of because May is still married, their marriage is not yet dissolved. She's filed for divorce, but there's no final order saying that the marriage has been dissolved. And even after a court has given an order in Nigeria, there's something called the decree nisi. Some people call it decree nisi, and then the decree absolute. So you have to wait. Yes, you have to wait.
The absolute automatically becomes absolute in 3 months.
Yes, in 3 months after the decree nisi has been made. So until it becomes absolute, well, in principle, you could say that when there's a decree nisi, the marriage has been dissolved. But like until it becomes absolute, that's when you know that it's no longer revocable. Like that act is no longer revocable. So for all intents and purposes, Yul is still legally married to May. So any other marriage he has contracted or purports to have contracted is a felony. And May is not wrong for taking him to court and suing him for felony, because he has openly said, this is my wife. And but then again, it would get down to the evidence, right? When they get to court, I would basically see him denying that he's not legally married to Judy, because the reality is that people would say one thing on social media, but when you get to the court of law and then reality hits, you start to sing a different story. So I think that when he gets to court and then he sees that, and his lawyer advises him that, boy, this is not going to fly, he probably will sing another story and say, well, I'm not legally married to her. There's no evidence that he's married to her. But if May can produce evidence that he married her, then I think...
Now, what kind of evidence can suffice in this situation?
If she has pictures of, say, their traditional marriage. Sometimes too, if people have like your, because then again it comes down to the evidence. If you call someone your wife, and there's a difference with calling someone your wife. I stand to be corrected though, but I think there's a difference with calling someone your wife and actually contracting a marriage. Right? So that I think there would be a difference. But at the end of the day, really, it's up to me, because you can decide to sue someone for something, but when it gets down to it, you withdraw that relief, ask the court not to make a judgment on it. For some reason, they might settle out of court, they might not, although it seems very unlikely that they will settle out of court.
Because everything don't get up.
Yeah. So
all right.
For me, the marriage is not valid. He's married to Judy, is not valid, and he's still legally married to May, and he has to wait, to get that marriage dissolved before he, contracts another one.
Now, here is what I was discussing with the lady yesterday. That is Sarah yesterday. I said, because I went through this myself. When you live in Nigeria, some of our laws have begun to lose touch with reality. And I say this all the time. Laws were created by human beings to make human life easier.
Yes.
When a law now does not serve that purpose anymore, but becomes a burden, an inconvenience, then it now starts leading to hypocrisy instead of morality. I'll give you an example. When my marriage, I filed for a divorce in 2014, but my ex packed out of the house on the 21st of June or July, 21st of June, 2014. She packed out of the house. We had a family meeting about 2 weeks later, and my father told her, he said, this man is still young. Move back to your husband's house within 2 weeks, or he's free to marry anybody he likes. Although that was not legal, because that doesn't stand the ground legally. But my father came from in 2014, I was 38.
38, yeah.
Do you understand? I was 38. How many years do I want to drag back and forth? If I'm going to move on and I want to have kids, I don't want to be training them in old age. Do you understand? So
True.
Is it that you guys move towards fixing this marriage or end the marriage? As she not come within that 2 weeks, may I begin to look everywhere. I come out my eye. And I thank God for it today, because I have a 9-year-old son to show.
Good, yeah.
So my son was born in May 2015. From June 2014 to May 2015, there is 11 months. Right?
Yeah.
Now, the boy was born premature at 6 months. Yes. So, his mother was not pregnant for him until July, August, September, October. Medical documents, he was in incubator for 1 month. No, 1 month plus, not up to 2 months. He was in the incubator. He was tiny, he was like this, like small lizard.
So
you understand what I'm saying? So the issue is, my ex, part of her claims was adultery. It makes no sense You left my house for 4 months. What do you expect me to be doing? Soapy?
Well,
That is no longer a law that protects us. That is a law that will make us into hypocrites. So what people do is, because no man can wait 4 months. I want to see the man. Then when you bring me a man that is 38 years old and can wait for 4 months, unless he has a wife and they are doing phone, maybe the wife they Canada, in the Nigeria, they do phone own. But a man that is abstinent, have you heard they talk and practicing abstinence for 4 months at 38? If I see a man, I go carry and go hospital test and make sure you go see the man no dey okay.
well,
There is
not a man.
no man that is okay at 38 that will wait for 4 months.
Well, I guess.
I don't think there is a man that waits 1 month, sir.
That
I'm
is
telling you.
short. Well, I
But-
don't know. I'm not a man, so I
But you
can't
know,
tell.
you know what I'm talking about. Men, if you are in the house, talk. Your wife says she no do again. Una don't separate. Una don't begin the fight up and down. You know you are not going back. She doesn't want you. You don't want her.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the... So 4 months later, you give somebody else belay. Then they are now trying to bring that in as adultery. That law now becomes an inconvenience, because what that law now does is it creates hypocrites. It doesn't create more moral citizens.
Yeah.
So what the people
Okay. Yeah.
are going to do is now they will be sleeping with other people, but they'll be hiding it. They'll be
Mhm.
sneaking and doing it. That doesn't make you better.
So okay, that is, I'm going to say 2 things regarding laws being obsolete. I totally agree with you, because the first reason why the law is made is for man and not for man to follow the law, right? So the law is meant to regulate human actions and relations. So if the law is no longer in terms, and like the law grows with the growth of the people, so the law should be an ever-changing thing, so to speak. So the law should be ever changing. The law is never permitted to be stagnant. So if the people are going in this, and that's what I was trying to explain to the woman the other day that she was quoting Duru and Duru. I said, we've departed from some of those things that you might have learned when you were in law school. For you to be a lawyer, you have to constantly, go with the current trend.
Canada, Nigeria, they don't grow anywhere.
Where, yeah, it feels like the law is pretty stagnant in Nigeria, but yeah, maybe
ugly standard, stagnant.
Yeah, maybe this would help to add to the advocacy.
Divorce took 9 years.
Yes.
9 years. What are you trying to tell me? Which woman, can you wait for 9 years?
Oh no, absolutely no.
9 years. At any point in the 9 years that she did anything, it will be considered adultery.
Exactly.
So that is why when some people say, Daddy Freeze, you're a fake pastor, you are committing adultery, she will adultery, you are not really. You need that.
Yeah.
Adultery.
Yeah. So another thing, and like I said, like in regard to advocacy, one other thing I think needs to be incorporated into the Nigerian divorce law is the legal date of separation. I don't know, I stand to be corrected. In Canada, for instance, we have a legal date of separation. So when couples come to the court to divorce, you have to say, this was the day I separated from my ex-spouse. And I remember this day because of that. Now, this does 2 things. It helps the court to know that you guys are living separate and apart. And it helps it helps the court to know that, actually 3 things. It helps the court to know that there's no possibility of reconciliation. It also helps the court to understand that these people, this was the day they said we're not doing again. So anything after that day, like let's say for instance, I marry and God forbid I divorce on the 30th of December or the 31st of December 2023. And then today being the 3rd of January, I become a millionaire. We go to court. the legal date of separation is the 30th of December or the 31st of December 2023. So whatever happens in my life after that time, you cannot now come and say, oh, she made $1 million, so I want to
Nigerian
that money.
lawmakers, Nigerian legal, can
Yeah.
you listen to how they do this thing in places that have sense?
Oh.
Places that people are not hypocritical and don't run to church every 5 minutes. They actually think things through. This makes sense. My own legal date of separation was July 21st. I was a free man from July 21st.
Yeah.
Taste buds. Her own was first or something in January 2012.
Yeah. That should be incorporated. Although in Canada, for instance, like in Manitoba, you have to have lived separate and apart for at least a year. You can file for divorce. That's the thing. Like, we could decide that we're separating today, and the next day or even the same day, I file for divorce. But the court would not, give an order to that divorce, like give effect to that divorce until after 1 year. But for all intents and purposes, your legal date of separation is the day that you stopped living together. So I think that's something that we need to, incorporate into Nigerian law. Another thing, again, I think we need to incorporate into Nigerian law. The men are not going to like this, but let me give a bit of a background. It's not only for men. Even here, women too would pay child support. Child support it's determined according to how much you earn. So let's say, for instance, now, God forbid, I go through a divorce, I have a child, or not even through a divorce, we have a child together and we're no longer cohabiting, and we want to, just co-parent in peace. They will check both incomes and decide who is going to pay child support. So the fundamental thing that people need to understand is child support is not for the mother or the father. It's the right of the child. So I think it's something that seriously needs to be advocated.
Make it about the mother.
Exactly. I get that it frees, but it's an erroneous mindset. It's an erroneous perception of what child support is. There are situations where you put in a final order in court in Canada here, and you don't provide for child support, and the judge will summon you to come before him or her to explain why she should make an order without child support. So you basically have to come before the court with your client and say, my client doesn't want child support for XYZ reason. And then the judge is going to determine if it makes sense to him or her or not, and then make, a ruling based off of that. So child support is the right of a child. It's basically to help a child, have a normal life as possible. Divorce or separation should not have to, affect the child, because come to think of it, a child or your children had nothing to do with your separation or your divorce. So they shouldn't have to be, that affected by the divorce, especially when it comes to the things that you have to provide for them. So that's another area of advocacy that I'm hoping that, lawyers are currently practicing in Nigeria, and people who, review the laws would put into consideration going forward as, they change the laws or make them more in tune with, modern reality. Yeah.
Say it as it is, my dear sister.
Yeah.
The laws are not in tune with the reality of 2024 in Nigeria. The laws, our laws are not in tune. Now, here's the thing. If you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen, double click the screen, double click the screen. Pop my money gun. You are learning for free. This woman went to school for 7 years to learn this law. 7 years. Then law school, everything. She's teaching you for free. You are there. Pop money gun. For how much is money gun? You will not pop. In fact, I'll be charging people next time to come and be. I cannot bring 2 lawyers to come and teach you stuff, and then you sit down there and just be listening and burning your 5 naira data. Oh yeah, double click the screen. Follow my #1 gifter. Who is my #1 gifter? Let's make this happen. Pop my #1 gifter. Pop my money gun. Follow my #1 gifter. This is how you pop the money guns, and this is how you double click. Watch my fingers on TikTok. If you're watching on TikTok, this is how you do it. Just do this on TikTok. Just do this right now on TikTok. Do this on TikTok. Do this on TikTok. Do this on TikTok. Do this. Come on. All right. So we had no male lawyers, so I think we're ending so I can go and spend some time with the family. I was looking for... Someone said I should check what Rita Edochie posted. Rita Edochie.
Daddy Freeze, can I ask for a favor? Can I leave?
Okay.
Thank you, Daddy Freeze.
All right.
Thank you.
The lawyer lady will be back. Where are all the men lawyers? Read book. Ify, thank you so much for assisting.
Welcome, Daddy Freeze. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
I can't see anything she posted though. I can't see anything. No. Okay, big drama. Devil. Shut up. I said shut up. Drama devil. You don't even know the tradition, because if you do, you would have reasoned appropriately before writing those jargons. A woman has no right to return the bride price of a man. Rather, it is the man who moves to the woman's hometown with his kinsmen to ask for the return of the bride price. Same way he went to pay initially. Well, I'm not surprised at all that you do not know the tradition. After all, you were picked by Ogbomanu Onicha, who were hired to join in paying your bride price. How you want to take Sabi? Now, talking about the return of the bride price, no one is ready for that at the moment. Much as I know you are the one pushing him just to ensure you take over completely. The reason is this: Queen May has been asking for a divorce. She urged Yul, our son, to come retrieve the bride price, but he kept holding back, thinking Queen May would later give in to his polygamous intentions. Not until late last year, when the matter was taken to court, only then did he start demanding the bride price, which you have been pushing him to do. The unfortunate thing is that this matter is now in the full custody of the court, and nothing can be done till the case is over in court. So I repeat, no bride price can be returned except with consent and order from the court. So you have to wait till whenever we come. I thought you are supposed to be educated, drama devil. This matter is already in court and must not be addressed on social media space or anywhere else. But you are busy writing all those bile and dash because, sorry, my eyes, because you are too daft. Hey!
Wow.
The person that knows cannot write this because he knows the implications. But I see you're bent on bringing you down, setting him up for online drags as well as complicating issues for him in court. Stop acting like you don't know what is obtainable. Leave you alone. Leave him for good. Stop tarnishing his reputation with those your irrelevant posts through his social media pages. Stop setting him up for trolls. Rest, drama devil, or Basi. Enough is enough. I'm still waiting for you to come out and talk to me directly. Hey! What is said? You're Hey! So we're coming back at midnight. We still have quite a lot of conversations around this topic. If you're watching on TikTok, double-click the screen, 892 people on TikTok. I'm not going to come back on this TikTok again later. I will not come back on this TikTok. I will not come back again on this TikTok. I will come back only on the other platforms. No Facebook later on, no YouTube and no TikTok, just Instagram. So guys, I've got to run. Double click the screen, pop those money guns if you're still watching. I'm going to be back at about 2 a.m. as usual, and then we're going to continue with the conversation. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me live. Thank you, the two lawyer ladies, Sarah and Ify. Do you have anything to say about what Ify said?
Wow, it's a lot. I need to digest it at this point. Yeah.
Okay, so you have the opportunity to go back, watch the video, digest it, and then come back and share your perspective. Yeah. Take care, everyone. Thank you for watching. Yeah. God bless you, and see y'all later.